in. People are still making their way over. We'll get started with some info about Camp Simchah in just a moment. Good to see some both new names and some returning names. Hopefully we caught the post-bedtime routine for most of you. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get started, and if anybody misses anything vital, then be able to catch them up on the end. So my name's Dave Stanton. I'm the Associate Director of the Goldberg Early Childhood Center here at the GECC of Dallas. And for the past few summers, I have also been the Director of Camp Simchah. I'm going to share just a bit about what our camp program is like in the summer, and then take any questions that you may have. So our camp is the preschool age camp. So our campers are 2 through 4. We ask that anybody applying that your youngest is 2 by the end of May. Our staff is mostly our preschool teaching staff during the summer, plus some regular subs who often work camp for us every summer. We do have a few college students who return each summer back to Dallas and work in the camp as well. For the most part, our staff has all been with us through school years and several camp seasons, and they're very familiar with how we do things. We do have some junior counselors from local high schools that work with us in the summer. They're not considered counselors, so they're not responsible for the children, but they're there to get a little bit of experience, play with the children, bring some of that camp energy into the building. But they're never responsible and alone with the children. So they're not supervising the kids. They would never be taking them anywhere on their own. Our big focus in the summer is on social and emotional growth and language development for the kids in our care. The schedules, I know Josh touched briefly on it. So we do have 2 schedule options in Camp Simchah. There's our half-day program, which goes from 8:45 until 12:45. And there's our full-day program that goes from 7:45 until 5:45. We do have in the 2- and 3-year-old programs the option for either Tuesday, Thursday, or Monday, Wednesday, Friday schedules. Generally, the availability of those are very limited, but we do have a few of those each year. And then in the 4s, the only option is Monday through Friday, is all 5 days a week in the 4-year-old program. Our programming in the summer, so we have a big pedagogical team in the preschool with people that work with every age group, and they really work also during the year on helping plan projects and activities for the summer, usually around a theme that'll last for the week or the session. We also engage in swimming and water play. The 2-year-olds do water play out on our naturescape 3 times a week. We go swimming 4 times a week. I can talk a little bit about what that has typically looked like in the past. We're still kind of figuring out what modifications may be needed with the new pool versus the old pool, but it will look very similar in the summer. And then we also have a lot of outside guests that come and join us. So we have the creature teacher come and bring a variety of different animals. We have a yoga instructor come each section. And just to bring in some outside experiences for the children to do. We usually have 1 or 2 things going on every week in our schedule that everybody gets to do. So when you're thinking about what age group should your child go into, we have the 2s, the 3s, and the 4s. You're going to think about what age will they be in the fall. So we're looking for their age as of September 1st. So even if I were to take like my youngest as an example, he has a July 28th birthday. And last summer he turned 4 on July 28th, but even though he was 3 at the start of the summer, he still would have been in the 4s for summer camp. So you're looking for what their age will be in the fall as of September 1st for when you're choosing the age group for your child. The daily schedule, so we do have activities, all the camp groups that are open for the full day are open at the start of the morning at 7:45. They usually have a few different table and floor activities out for the children that are arriving early. We do offer cereal for those early arrivers, for those that are hungry first thing in the morning. Usually around about 9 o'clock, everybody's there. There is a morning meeting. We do a whole camp sing-along. At that morning meeting, they'll kind of talk about what's going to happen that day. They have a snack after that from 9:30 to 10. And then typically in some order, the next 3 things that'll happen in that morning are swimming and water play, play out on the naturescape. We have a wonderful outdoor play space that we take full advantage of, especially in the mornings. A lot of times by the end of the afternoon, it's a little too hot to go outside sometimes. So we try to get out there. It's very well shaded. And we also have some small groups in centers time. And during that time, the counselors are facilitating projects. The children have an opportunity to play in some of the different centers. So block center, art centers, sensory tables, dramatic play. We do a lot of light table exploration. So Jenny will answer that one. So for Matthew, yes, you would be, or sorry, Connor, you would be probably looking at Little High, which is the camp that's aged for children going into kindergarten. If he's not going into kindergarten and he's sort of on the older side, then the 4s may be a better program, and we can always talk about that later towards the end of this. And so they're doing those various things. We do lunch at 12 o'clock. You either pack a lunch from home, we ask for a kosher style lunch, or there is hot lunch that you can purchase here. After lunchtime, there's a carpool for the half-day students that goes from about 12:40 to 1. You can walk in and pick up, or you can drive through and pick up, and we can bring the kids out to the car. And the students that are here all day are either napping or resting from 1 to 3. In the afternoon, there's kind of a wake-up transition. There's a snack. They have more time to do small groups and centers. They're usually so busy, go in the morning, that's like a nice sort of calm time where they can really dive into the play in the classrooms. And then there's also time outdoors on the naturescape, again, weather permitting. When the heat index gets over 100, we start to limit or either stay inside, depending on the specific circumstances. Mostly stay inside once the heat index is getting that high. And then we also have some specials like gardening and music built in throughout the days and the weekly schedules on top of all those daily activities. So just to give you a little bit of information on what does swimming look like in a preschool camp. So for our 3 and 4-year-olds that have been, that are potty trained and out of swim diapers, we have lessons 4 days a week. For those that aren't yet, they're, and this will actually be even probably more enjoyable this year than it has been in the past, there are splash pad in areas that they can play in. The way the swim lessons work, the way the swim lessons work, all of the campers are at the edge of the pool, seated on the pool, though I believe there's actually going to be like a ledge they can stand on down in the water in the new pool, is my understanding. We have one of the 2 regular counselors down in the pool with the class and one standing right behind them. There are usually about 3 swim instructors per group. And then there are lifeguards spaced out. So usually we'll have like 4 or 5 lifeguards out there, one of our administrative staff is always on the deck, as well as administrative staff from aquatics. There's never a time where I feel like we are counting the kids more, making sure everybody's safe, accounted for, than when we're down at the pool. And the children are only going out away from the wall one-on-one with an instructor. So the instructor will take them out, they'll practice the skill, they'll bring them back. So at the start of a session, they'll usually assess them. At the end of the session, they'll assess them again. You'll get a progress report, usually that following week a session ends, of where they are skills wise, and then they'll either move their kind of level that they're teaching to. They tweak the levels during the summer after they assess them as necessary, and keep developing those skills throughout the summer. So it is really cool. We see a lot of progress in both their confidence and skills in the water. And just a few last things, and I will get to questions. As far as like the communication we do for our twos, we are sending home daily notes about things like bathroom or diapers, things like that. So you have a log of those, how they're eating, how they're sleeping. You do get daily communication and photos through story parks, just kind of a lot of pictures and a little summary of what the kids were up to. We also use an app called Story Park to kind of help you get familiar with the class and the counselors before the camp starts. So you have a chance to sort of virtually help prepare, and we have a visit day before the camp starts so you can meet the counselors. We, at the end of the week, our team sends out a weekly recap email for camp and everything that's been going on. And then as far as what you might need on a daily basis, you'll always want to pack at least one, maybe two changes of clothes. Lunch, if you're not signing up for a hot lunch, nap mat or nap materials if they're staying all day, sunscreen, bug spray. If you're okay with us administering that, we have a form online you can fill out that lets us do that. And then anything they may need if they're still like wearing diapers and potty training and stuff like that. The sunscreen, bug spray, diapering stuff, we can store that here. The nap mats we keep here throughout the week, and we'll send them home on Friday to be washed. But we do ask the change of clothes and lunches to come every day. And we really ask you to label everything, even down to like socks and things like that. Because one of the things we're developing during the summer is self-help skills. But when you have, you know, a dozen 3-year-olds trying to get themselves dressed at the same time, it's very easy for socks to wind up maybe accidentally in somebody else's swim bag. So if you can label everything with initials or first name or something like that, that's also super helpful. I think that's everything on my list of things I wanted to get through. So let me take a peek in the chat. So Janet asked for children transitioning out of naps. So it's a good question. We're required as part of licensing to have children rest on their cot for an hour. If at that point they don't fall asleep, we do get them up and have them do something quietly at a table that's a little bit removed maybe from where the rest of the kids are napping. We are required to have them rest. If they're not falling asleep during that time, we can usually give them, you know, some books to look at and things like that to do quietly on the cot. We do have to have them on a cot just for that first hour for Texas state licensing purposes. Anybody else has any questions, you can either come off mute and ask. You can put in the chat. So Raquel asked, what is the teacher to student ratio? It depends a little bit on the ages. So typically in our twos, we'll have 2 counselors and a junior counselor with 12 children. In our threes, it's usually more like 13 or 14 children with 2 counselors. And in our pre-K, in our fours, it's usually more around like 15 or so. that are together. Now, some of them may leave like at the half day and the number gets a little smaller in the afternoon. And then we also have some floating counselors that go around and kind of help where needed or step in for teachers that may be out for that day or stuff like that. So it's usually between 1 to 6 and 1 to 8 or so during the summer for the teacher to student ratio, depending on the age. Possible to request placements. So usually there's a place on the form to make friend requests. A lot of times the teachers are probably with the same age group that they were with the previous year. My guess is that'll be the case with Katya in particular this year, just because her classroom is a twos classroom this year. Usually we try to keep as much continuity for our preschool students and families with familiar faces, both of kiddos and counselors. But yes, you can always put that down if there's a way that we can make it work. We always like to try to do that. But you definitely can request friends from requests, and I think in pretty much every instance we can honor those. And if there's at least one of the two, and if there's some reason we can't, we'll reach out to you and kind of discuss that ahead of time. Any other questions can answer about Camp Simchah? How do we anticipate registration numbers and space looking for this age group? So that can be the challenge. A lot of our spaces are filled up internally from our preschool families who have access to register this week before it opens to GECC membership, and then Camp Friends the following week. Historically, I would say it depends a little bit. If you're looking for all day, every day across the whole summer type thing, there's a decent chance that that's full just with members that are registering even sometimes early in that first week, depending on the year and the demand. I haven't gotten a good enough look at our numbers yet to know exactly what to expect for spaces specifically this year. If you're open to, hey, whatever schedule, like we'll take 2 days this session, or 2 or 3 days or 5 days, whatever you have and whatever sessions you have. A lot of times there are like some spots that we can start filling in. Sometimes I think we do get a little bit of movement later in the spring where things open up as well that we may not have right at the moment. But it can be space is a little tight if I'm being completely transparent. And your chances, especially if you're needing sort of camp all summer and stuff like that, are probably much better of getting it if you're a member than if you're just a camp friend. For the older camps, that's not necessarily the case, but in the preschool, just due to our space limitations, that is. And I will also say if you join as a member because of camp and are not able to get into camp, we'll refund all the fees and stuff like that that you paid towards it if that was the reason that you guys were joining and we still didn't have availability. So I hope that answers the question. The 4s is only 5 days a week. That could be morning or afternoon, but it's just a Monday through Friday schedule in the 4s. There are half day and full day options there. but it's not, there aren't like Tuesday, Thursday, or Monday, Wednesday, Friday options in the 4s. Right. Well, thank you all for coming. I'll hang around for 1 or 2 more minutes if anybody has any last questions. And hope to see you guys at camp this summer.
Thanks, Dave. Have a great night.
Thanks, you too, Janet. Thanks, Kat. What age is your little one?
He is going to be in the 4s. He would be in the 4s. Yeah.
Okay. Are you all members?
We are members, and okay. You helped me quite a bit last year because I had a little snafu where only I was a member.
Oh no. I remember this.
Yeah, but our whole family is a member now. So
okay. So I would say sign up like seriously as early as you can on the
23rd.
On the 23rd. Because I think we got everybody who signed up in on that day definitely in. I think there were a few people that signed up like the second day, even that like some of the ages were full for it. It took a while before we could get them in or something like that.
Yeah.
But yes, I will keep an eye out on that so we can make sure we don't repeat that.
I'm ready this year. I've got it all straightened out. So
I do remember that. Oh, I felt so terrible.
No, it's okay. Thank you so much.
All right, take care.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.